The Esports World Cup has come and gone for Tekken 8, and in the 4-day event, they broadcasted about 6 to 7 hours of straight Tekken each day. So my job is to try and condense that, give you kind of a viewable experience, give you some key Tekken lessons to take away, and kind of paint the overall picture of what the tournament was like. There are so many insane stories if you haven't heard already. Surprising upsets, champions kind of losing really early. Don't spoil it in the comments if you know, by the way. Let these people who haven't had a chance to watch the World Cup kind of come along for the ride, okay? It's a really, really exciting event, and there's so many matches to cover. So I'm not going to go through each, like, first to two. I'll try and give you, like, highlights of the key matches and then zoom in on the really cool ones. But first, I got to talk about the format of the tournament and talk about the players a little bit, and then get into the matches. So, $1 million tournament, $300K for first prize. For reference, most, like, US tournaments, at least, the top prize is like $5,000 or like $1,000 or $10,000. It's not a lot. So this is the first, like, big money coming to Tekken. The format is also different. So in the Tekken World Tour, the group stages are usually round robin. Here, they've done the group stages as a tournament double elimination bracket. Top 2 out of the pool will qualify for the next round, and then they'll run it back again. And then in Phase 3, it's a single elimination bracket. But every match is first to 5. This is a brand new format for Tekken, and it's kind of exciting because, you know, generally more games is kind of understood as the way to determine the more skilled player. Otherwise, we'd all just play first to 1, kind of roll with that, right? But you have adaptations, you have some more explosive characters that struggle once they get a bit more predictable. So the first to 5 format is really exciting, and coaching was prohibited in this tournament, which is brand new and a hot topic of discussion lately in the Tekken world. I don't have a solid take on it right now. Let me know in the comments what you think. These are the groups. So every player here has placed high in an international major, specific majors that were Esports World Cup qualifiers. The exception are 4 players who qualified in the Last Chance qualifier, which was a tournament ran in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, right before this event, to send 4 more players and fill out the rest of the spots. So Usama here was the winner. Al was second place. And then Sajawal and Hafiz Tanvir were the other 2 players who qualified through the LCQ. Very, very strong players. And again, just because they're Last Chance doesn't mean they're lower in skill. Everybody here truly has a chance to take this tournament. And you might not believe me, but when you watch how this tournament shakes out, you will be surprised, okay? Enough rambling. Let's get into the tournament. So the first group, Group AA. This group kind of sets the stage for how the Tekken meta, I think, will change for the rest of the lifespan of Tekken 8. Okay, let me talk about that really, really briefly before we get into the actual games, because I think this is really crucial details. So first, you have to understand how Tekken 7 operated, okay? They nerfed sidesteps and buffed backdashes. And for movesets, they gave everybody really high coverage, safe counter hit launchers. The idea is they wanted people to be able to swing. They were tired of people in Tekken Tag 2 kind of moving around everything and sidestepping, and they wanted to make it a bit more, and have a bit more action. Low parries give you a full combo, and then if you got put into rage, you had a second move called a rage drive, right? It's kind of like a heat smash, but this move was a powered up version of a move that the character already had, and usually it was like game warping. So like Steve, his Sonic Fang became a full launcher and gave him plus frames, right? Fang's shoulder, the heat, you know how he heat dashes his shoulder? That was his rage drive, right? So these mechanics all together made it actually harder to attack people because it was so easy to die, get counter hit launched, get low parried, eat a rage drive. So the solution became the slow meta that Tekken 7 kind of will be remembered for, right? Poke, move around, use your big high coverage buttons, and then just play the timer, because the defensive options, the counter hit launches, the low parries were so strong. So we know Tekken 8 has made a lot of adaptations based on this style, and that, I think, really comes into display here. I hit a weird button and messed up my notepad. Can the notepad come back, please? Thank you. Tekken 8. So they buffed sidesteps, string offense, approach tools, 50-50s, and rock, paper, scissors scenarios. So what this means is there's not a lot of consistent safe ways to play defense, right? If you try and sit there and defend and try and just like download your opponent with just movement and sidesteps, you'll just die. It's too hard to do that in this game. Instead, you want to be the one driving, the one in control, and active defense plays a big role in that. You can't just let your opponent attack you and you make the right duck read or the right, like, let them run out of frames and then take your turn back. Sometimes you have to interrupt their control with your armor, your parry, your sidesteps, an evasive move like a hop kick or a backswing blow, or just mash out of frame. The idea is that you need to disrupt your opponent's confidence in their offense so you can establish your offense and be the one driving, right? Defense in this game, straight defense is too hard and it's too unstable. So you have to be the one driving if you want to consistently win. And that comes into display here so beautifully. I think it's an amazingly instructive set of tournament matches for kind of teaching people to adapt to this new style of Tekken. So let's get into Group AA. We have Nobi, Doujin, MEO-IL, and AO. So the first match, Nobi versus Doujin, is pretty close. Not a lot to show there, but basically Nobi picks Dragunov, Doujin picks Shaheen, and Doujin is playing this kind of defensive style. So he's kind of still in Tekken 7, and it's very, very visible here. So if I go to just the start of the tournament set, you'll notice that Nobi opens with a big 1-2-1, unsafe string, running 4, and Doujin is just kind of chilling, trying to find a defensive spot to play. He puts out a down forward 2, but no dice, and Nobi is just running him over. He finds a rage art, which is really, really good for kind of disrupting. Again, key concept is not letting your opponent freestyle on you. But you'll see that he starts backing off right away. He gets a few low pokes in, but Nobi's just going to run him over. And even though later in the set he ends up finding a bit more momentum, like he does take it to final round, he can't keep up with Nobi's damage. The little pokes he finds, kind of defensively, or these block punishes that he finds, his defense is really, really good. These don't add up enough compared to Nobi just steamrolling. And it's not really a straight Dragunov issue. Obviously, Dragunov puts out a lot of damage in unfair situations, but it's kind of the playstyle of Doujin, where he's, you know, leaning into a lot more slower, pokey offense, and he doesn't kind of steamroll. Like, he could have killed here, and yes, Nobi got a good low crush read, but when you're the one defending, you're juggling so many options on your brain, and that throw break is kind of indicative of that. So Nobi ends up taking it over Doujin, and then we have AO versus MEO-IL. This set is really, really cool. AO kind of demonstrates the perfect, in my mind, what is the perfect idea of this active defense, active offense, represent your threats. You might be familiar with his Victor, but he also is an Elisa player back in Tag 2. So MEO-IL picks the Victor. AO doesn't elect for the mirror match. Instead, he plays this really cool style. Sidestep down forward 2, and he does it so fast, there's no, like, reaction. He sidesteps and just does the down forward 2. If he sat to wait, he would Victor would have been able to block in time, so it wouldn't have worked. Other cool things in this set is you'll see MEO-IL immediately playing high-risk options here. So he goes for this stance cancel, right? And AO disrespects it. The string extension would have hit him, but AO wants to establish early that you can't just attack me for free. If you cancel your stances, I'll hit you. You have to commit. And MEO-IL also starts committing by going for the big Victor low sweeps. That's a big factor here that you'll end up seeing. But right now, AO is just completely dominating, running the chainsaw stance. Hesitation is defeat in this game, right? Big launch punishable low, but MEO-IL believes in it, and he gets a float combo out of the situation after. Right, nice wall carry here. Heat burst. All right, wake up situation. AO's playing it kind of chill. Big whiff, not a big whiff punish, and then just committing to the low. If MEO-IL, if this low got blocked, he would have lost. Elisa's in rage, Elisa's in heat. It would have been a ton of damage, but you cannot hesitate. You have to show them, especially in the early rounds. Show them that you're willing to die. Show them you're willing to do these crazy options. And that's what makes Tekken 8 so much more dynamic, right? Look, big launch punishable low. AO reacts and blocks the second hit, which was really nice. But MEO-IL has to show that low so that AO just doesn't stand block all day. Right? Throwing out the armor is really good for disrupting offense as well. He does the low again, right? You cannot be afraid to get launched in this game, especially with the gray health mechanic. You heal so much, right? Nice sidestep here into a heat engage. He's healing all that gray health, running 2. And yes, he cancels the stance here, and AO tries to mash again. But it's about showing that you're willing to play different options, making yourself as unpredictable as possible. So AO puts out a strong showing with throwing out the power crushes, throwing out the sidestep hop kicks. Again, disrespecting the strings early. He just throws out a heat engager here. It's -10. It doesn't matter. Imagine if it hits. And that's kind of, I think, the mental space you need to be in when you play this game. Think about your stuff hitting more than what if I'm wrong. Not the best punish there, but he's still running in, continuing the offense. This chip is going to put him to last hit and a 16-second round with Elisa's offense. Similar story in this next game, but there's a cool adaptation. So AO continues to spam these like medium risk, high reward options, right? If he gets punished, he takes damage. But if he hits, he gets to continue steamrolling, right? It's not just the damage he wins, it's the control he wins. The ability to continue attacking. And as you can see, MEO-IL isn't like rolling over and just taking it. He's finding these key sidestep reads. He's got good combo conversions. He's pushing his offense as well. Goes for the low to beat the power crush, right? MEO-IL is doing the same thing. Ao just happens to do it a little bit better. And there's a really cool adaptation here that's going to show up as we get to the last game, right? A bit of a slower game plan coming out here. Sidestep down forward 2. Nice combo here. And the nice part about these characters is their combos aren't super technical, so they're going to get max damage reward every time. Wow, jump jab. Heat burst interrupting the heat smash. That was crucial because if Victor ate this heat smash, I'm not sure if it's lethal, but it would have been pretty close to dead if not one more hit. Rage Art goes through. Ao does survive by 1 pixel. Get up kick, yes. Like, look at this active defense. And Ao, to the death, picks an option that is aggressive, right? He goes for this, hard reads a retaliation, and just rips the button. He doesn't have time to sit and see, did Victor hit a button? Ao wants to kill him right here. MEO-IL's patience pays off, though. And that's kind of proof that defense isn't dead. You just have to really pick the spots where you're straight blocking versus mashing versus picking a sidestep button like Ao does right here. Like, look at this. Down 4, sidestep commit. There's no hesitation. There's no did he attack, did he move? He just sidesteps and plays the button on a timing read based on the information he's collected before. Now, because of the power crush, because of the sidestep button, MEO-IL has to kind of hesitate. And Ao capitalizes on that by just poking. Right? Just straight pokes. Look at this here. MEO-IL decides to back off after like the sidestep whiffs. He just plays it down 4. Standing 4 counters a button after, or counters the sidestep, right? Homing move. Then he just pokes again, beats the armor, heat burst, and then pokes mid when, you know, MEO-IL is just trying to make a defensive read. He's not trying to attack, because if he attacks, Ao might sidestep button, he might armor, and that costs him everything. So Ao takes control with these, again, medium risk, high reward options. And once MEO-IL is forced to kind of slow down, poke him up. Really, really strong Tekken 8 style of play. You'll see more examples of this if that wasn't super clear, but we'll keep it moving. So how the bracket worked, just a reminder, we had a double elim style bracket. Doujin losing the first one, so Nobi advanced, and then Ao advanced. So that's the match we have now, is Nobi versus Ao. And the deciding factor of this, again, is never going full defense. So Ao plays Victor here, and Nobi, you know, sticking with his Dragunov. And even though Victor is kind of a timing-based character, is what people call him, Dragunov obviously the driver in most situations, as you can see here. Ao never really commits to just straight defense, right? Look at how he plays this. He eats it down to, he gets counter hit trying to retaliate. He gets counter hit again. He's still mashing while standing 4. He gets counter hit again, and then he finds sidestep down forward 2. He's never really sitting there saying, I'm going to guess mid-low. He's like, I'm going to mash, I'm going to find a counter hit, I'm going to try and sidestep. Lots of active defense to make Nobi second guess his gameplay. Ao mashes a Rage Art here, and you might think that looks scrubby, that looks kind of silly, but Nobi is known to be a masher too. So Ao is insisting on stopping him from playing that playstyle. And that's where it pays off for him. Pushing the offense where he can, finds a throw on a little delay timing there. And remember, Nobi wants to drive, so Ao just throws out a down forward 2 in the open, doesn't get whiff punished, so it's no big deal. Nobi, no big deal. 1-2 mash, 1+2, right? Ao is never sitting still and finds a raw down forward 2. And what does this do? Imagine, like, from the flip side, imagine you're the attacker. What does this do to you if every time you try to attack, this dude doesn't care? He just keeps mashing, he keeps sidestepping, he's not afraid of dying, and your counter hit launchers in this game aren't as good, given Dragunov didn't really have good counter hit launchers in the last game either. Your counter hit launchers aren't as strong, so you really just have to frame trap them and keep poking them and then stop their movement. Look at this. This was a great option from Ao. Back 1, instead of going into stance, instead of finishing the string, he just lets the move expire. Nobi mashes, and it's a whiff bait. Down forward 2. So Ao isn't just YOLOing on offense. Instead, he's kind of YOLOing on defense, right? And it's a crucial difference if you're trying to switch and adapt to Tekken 8, and that's what kind of puts Ao, I think, ahead of so many people in this game. Right? Down back 4, right here. Most people would think, why would I go for a launch punishable low here if that could cost me the game. Dragunov has rage and heat, and he could put me down to a last hit situation. Ao doesn't care. He wants you to consider all of these factors while the game is going on early. He'll do the unsafe strings, he'll do the crazy lows, he'll do the stance options, and he can always solid up later. But a great duck, right? A great defensive read on Dragunov's attack. And the nice part about these sets is, even though we're kind of going into like decent detail, the games are so fast. Like, we're cruising through this. Nice little wake up situation here. Just keeps the wall position and then wakes him up with the launch punishable low again. And a perfect. And game 2 is still pretty crazy too. I gotta pull this up here. Game 2 is still pretty wild. Let me move this over here. Keep us in order here. My fault, guys. Doing this off the cuff, not the easiest thing. So when we get to game 2 here, you will not believe how Ao starts the game. You will not believe it. Round start hop knee, right? Just continuing to be as unpredictable as humanly possible to not allow Dragunov to gain momentum and take control. And look at this, from the back turn scenario, right? While standing 1. If you hold down back, you go into a quick evasive crouch, and Nobi's inaccurate back turn punishment costs him a full combo. Right, this game, you got to get your hands dirty. It's not going to be super clean, crisp, precise Tekken. It's scrappy. You got to fight. You got to make reads. You got to play a little crazy. And there, the rage art finally pays off. Ao stays stubborn. Heat burst on wake up. Nice block. You can't punish that in this game. That's like old muscle memory from old Tekkens. The get up kicks used to all be punishable. He tries the heat smash again, almost converts into a combo. I didn't know that was possible. And here he's backing off, right? Like, that seems a little defensive, but consider the fact that Victor is so good at kind of keeping people out. He has the down back 4, he has the really good jab, and Dragunov having to come in is a bit harder. And again, it adds to the lack of predictability. If Victor is always going in, then it becomes easier to counterplay. So Ao backing off a bit gives him a window to try and again shake things up and still play to Victor's strengths. Running 2 gets sidestepped, so you can't get predictable with Victor's offense. It's still a dynamic game, even though it is so aggressive, right? They're still varying their options a lot. Big sidewalk down forward 2, again, built on the idea that Nobi is a bit more comfortable attacking if Ao's backing off, so Ao can make these defensive reads. He can't just attack every single time. He has to shake it up. Sidestep, forward 1+2 to beat the down jab. String offense, and then sidestep read on Nobi's mash. So not only is he being unpredictable, he is making strong reads on Nobi's predictable defense. And that kind of makes all of the difference in this set. Even though Ao's eating a combo here, it's not going to be so straightforward to finish his life. Because we don't know what he's going to do next. Are we getting crazy Ao? Are we getting offense? Or is he going to chill out? Rage art again! Rage art again. That was like what I think the 3rd or 4th rage art this set. Counter hit down back 4 finally hitting. The fact that counter hit launches on armor is really, really strong. That's really in Victor's favor. Doesn't get the perfect combo here, but forward 1+2. And he 2-0s Nobi to qualify. Ao, I think, demonstrates some of the best Tekken 8 that we have seen. And unfortunately, we have an example here. Well, fortunate maybe if you're a student in the game, but unfortunately here we have an example of Tekken 7 style gameplay returning. So remember, Doujin lost to Nobi. And is in the loser side here. Everybody here gets eliminated from the tournament if they lose. He's now up against MEO-IL, who is also in losers. Now, pay attention to Doujin here. Again, backdashing, putting out a high coverage forward 2, kind of wanting the opponent to attack first and getting a nice whiff punish here. That is some classical Tekken 7, and it's not terrible for its day. But in Tekken 8, you're going to see where the cost comes in, right? He's getting mixed up by MEO-IL's string. Tries the down jab, gets blown up, that's fine. And he's just kind of letting MEO-IL dictate the offense. Some 1-2 jabs are fine, but they're not going to change the pace of the game. Even this forward 2. Look at how many hitboxes MEO-IL is putting out. These are all chances to win damage. Unsafe string, but gets the knockdown. Gamma Howl armor, and remember, because of Jack's Gamma Howl, it's hard to attack him reliably. Nice defensive reaction to duck there that beats the throw from Doujin, and then he just eats a heat smash and dies. Do you notice how Doujin isn't like putting out any threats? He's banking on MEO-IL killing himself, but MEO-IL can just rack up damage slowly. 2 jabs, some lows, right? Strings are too hard to defend against. Stances are too hard to defend against. These jabs aren't going to do much. Down forward 2 whiff punish is really good, but all MEO-IL has to do is stop whiffing. Running one. Now guess. Right? Nice finishing the string there is pretty good. Nice punish. Again, Doujin's defense is really, really good. If he supplements it with some offense, it just changes everything. Inaccurate punish from MEO-IL. Sidestep. Ooh, he could have killed. And this is a good Doujin round, right? This is the round Doujin is looking for. Kind of a strong wall and then piecing apart your opponent at the end. But it unfortunately just doesn't pay off, right? Like, look at this offense. Down to full, and then these are good moves from Leo. I'm not telling you not to use these moves, right? Plus frame mid, going for the low. Nice, the low gets blocked, that happens. But then he just keeps going mid. Where's the threat? Yes, it's a counter hit launcher, but what happens after? Some pokes? Look at that. Look at all the damage Doujin gets from these interactions. So many interactions, he gets like, what, that much HP? Now look at MEO-IL, one big hit, right? Crouch throw, guaranteed. Look at these high value options. Wake up trap. It's not just that you can't play defensively. You want your opponent to be considering your big threats. And Doujin hasn't given him any threats to consider, and he just dies. Now, when he switches to Fang game 2, it doesn't really help if you play the same style. Right? Fang has a million different ways to hit you. Look at Doujin here. Backdashing. Sidestepping. Putting out some jabs and down forward ones. 1-2. Nice. Down 2. Look at that. The damage from this 1-2. The damage from this while standing 4 punish. MEO-IL is in the lead. Right? This is good offensive stuff. Now he's backing off. Where's the pressure? You want to stop Jack from being able to build up time to set up this offense. Right? Missing a punish here. Again, this big move is getting so much value. We need Fang's big moves. We need poke him up, piece him up, control him. But MEO-IL is realizing that Doujin is giving him the initiative. So he's just like, okay, I'll just do my big move. If you're not going to kill me, if you're not going to back Kenpo me, if you're not going to poke me up, I'll just do my big moves. And this is kind of a fatal flaw of the Tekken 7 style in this game. Without the ability to low parry and counter hit for a lot of damage, look how little damage that low parry did. It's just in your favor to run your offense. Good defensive reaction again. But look at this. There's no attacks coming from Doujin. What is he looking for? A whiff? But there's no whiff punish there. Then the armor comes through, and then he finishes the string. So Doujin not really able to get anything started because he's playing so defensive, right? And that's so instructive to how to play Tekken 8. I think that these matches, for the players who played this way, Doujin isn't the only one. I'm not trying to single him out. Doujin isn't the only one, but I think the players who played this way will take this as a huge lesson in how to play Tekken 8 moving forward. So, MEO-IL advances and Nobi lost here, right? So Nobi and MEO-IL are in this qualifying match. That's where we're leaving off. And what we've got is a bit more of a scrap, but MEO-IL is in that Tekken 8 headspace, right? Just throwing out the big moves, the big heat engager, big stomp, guard break. Doesn't spend the heat smash right away. That's really efficient. Big punish here. And look at how much HP he's winning, right? Nobi's trying to play active defense, which is good. Sometimes you'll just be wrong. One round is not the end of the world. I like the way Nobi played, even though he got beat up, because he's clearly trying to make these active decisions, right? MEO-IL is, look, he's not hitting a button, but look at his positioning. Right in the face of Nobi, threatening these options, right? And then Nobi attacking on a bit of a delay to beat the armor. This is like pretty good Tekken 8. Nice read on the high. But what makes the difference in this set is MEO-IL is able to kind of target Nobi's downtime. When Nobi hesitates to avoid getting mashed on, this mistake is kind of just unlucky, and MEO-IL capitalizes. But MEO-IL's punishment, and I guess this combo counts as punishment too. When a small mistake happens, when Nobi's wrong, MEO-IL is going to win way more damage. Nice little delay into heat dash. Nobi's not breaking the throw, and it cost him his life. Breaking the throw as in you have to duck that. So, MEO-IL just cashing out a ton of damage. And Nobi isn't really getting destroyed, but on the opportunities where MEO-IL can win damage, he's just milking as much as possible, right? And right now, it doesn't look that dramatic, right? Like, Nobi's doing pretty great in this round. But wow, that headbutt from Jack is getting so much mileage. A lot of Jack players are using that. And now this position is just ugly. Nobi gets a huge back turn punish here. This is good pressure. This is really scary. But he hesitates and whiffs the low. And that's a catastrophic whiff. Going into game 2, the punishment difference starts to really add up. Nobi gets a 2-1 jab here, right? Nice forward 2 interrupt from Jack, and then look at this. This is a launch punishable like move, and like yes, it's Jack players are good at placing this where it's kind of hard to expect and punish, but Nobi gets a 4-4. That's like no damage, and look at this. Down jab, pressure, unsafe string. Nobi gets a little bit, right? Like there's not a lot you can get. Down jab, low parry, and look at the cash out here. He's in heat. Oh, never mind. He could have gotten more. And then he just rips the big hit. Down forward 1. MEO-IL immediately trying to start his offense. Nice running 2 from Nobi. This is crucial. He's needed this. Look at how locked in he is. I like the production value that they had here, by the way. Lots of really good camera angles and interviews and stuff like that. Look at this punish. Look at this punish from MEO-IL. This is kind of the story of everything. 1-1. Puts him in stance, does so much work. Really good throw to beat Heat Burst or any kind of armor attempt. And then wall splat. Yep, he's dead. Unsafe string. Again, MEO-IL showing that you should be concerned that I'm going to do something random that you don't expect. Inaccurate punish from Nobi. And look at this. This is a While Rising 4 or While Rising 1-3 Dragunov 12 frame punish, right? While standing 2 here. Big damage for MEO-IL. And even at the top level, just the basic fundamentals of punish really make a big difference. And it's not that these players can't punish, right? It's like a focus thing. It's like how locked in you are that day. And MEO-IL is just playing so effectively. The other thing to consider why Nobi is hesitating is because Jack has that Gamma Howl, the armor. And that armor is what led to this combo in the first place, right? He kind of flexes. King has the same thing. Right, a little bit of crazy stuff, just giving him more to think about. This armor is everything, and it's so effective for King, so effective for Jack. And look at how this last one plays out. Right, just jab interrupting, down back 1, playing some offense. Tries to punish, doesn't get it. Yep, and mix-ups. Nobi has a chance to restore some momentum here, but gets guard broken. MEO-IL holds onto his heat so he can threaten it again. Big punish on the armor. Nobi mashes out of turn and dies. So, making these defensive plays is obviously really important, right? These defensive plays are super important, but as the attacker, it's not so brain dead. You have to make reads on their defensive options. We saw Ao sidestep some down jabs. We saw here MEO-IL sometimes playing frame tight, holding onto his heat to continue the pressure. If he just cashed out his heat right here to get the guaranteed follow-up, this next situation doesn't happen. Right? He's in stance here. Now the guard break is on the table again. Nobi has to make a decision. Nobi tries the down jab and plays out of frame and dies. And out of frame as in he walked into a frame trap. So this game, this first pool AA, I think really demonstrated this whole concept that Tekken 8 is kind of gone. Or Tekken 7 is kind of gone in lieu of Tekken 8. And obviously people knew that, but it's so visibly on display that I think it's really, really cool. So Nobi qualifies through the loser side. MEO-IL qualifies through the loser side. Ao qualifies through the winner side. And Doujin and Nobi are completely out of the tournament. A shocking turn of events, if you ask me. I think Nobi, especially having won a bunch of majors, was kind of a favorite to come out of it. But the better Tekken 8 play wins. Let's get on to Pool BB. Ranchu, Atif, Kkokkoma, the John. This is another like pool of death. So the last one kind of showed the contrast between Tekken 7 players. We'll call this Group BB now. Between Tekken 7 players and Tekken 8 players. What happens if 2 players are playing Tekken 8? Ranchu and Atif are both really strong Tekken 8 style players. Right? It's actually really, really cool to see. Let's take a look at this. So Game 1 was a lot of aggressive timing changes, players representing their offense, and Game 2 is more the same, but take a look here. Atif is up 2 rounds, immediate sidestep down forward 2 at the start of the round, right? And Ranchu isn't going to play brain-dead active offense. He's going to pick a good spot. So he's blocking here, respecting the frames, ducks, so he gets hit. Respecting the frames. This is looking ugly, right? But he knows he has all this gray health. Finally gets a block punish, and now he's going to start his offense. Charging up, going for a low, heat burst to continue on the trade, down jab to continue pressure, right? So Ranchu knows he has to block for the first half of the round. And once he gets his opportunity, he runs with it really intelligently. Running shoulder. Right, heat burst here to beat the retaliation. Down jab to stop Atif from going for a low. This was so good. This string is traditionally unsafe, but he cancels into hunting bear stance to duck the high punish, power crush. Whiff punish on the get up kick. Again, it's not just straight offense, it's attacking your opponent's active defense as well. After this, he stutters, he shimmies. Get up kick whiffs. Super impressive play from Ranchu. And that's why these Tekken 8 players, the ones who are succeeding, are so good. Is they're not just attacking well. Well, they are just attacking well. That's part of the skill of attacking well. But on the defense, they're also able to pick when it's their time to retaliate, when it's their time to get back in the mix. But Atif, again, as a good attacker, is going to make adjustments to how Ranchu fought his way out of that again. This is also very high IQ, by the way. Down jab to beat the offense, throw, which on break swaps sides to give him a better position, and then down jab to continue his pressure. Ranchu is very high IQ at both kind of the mashy defense and the intelligent offense. All of this damage is earned because he down jabbed and then swapped sides. That cannot happen unless he has this wall position, right? Because bears are so much stronger at the wall. And he puts Atif on like game point to go to losers here. And Atif has to find a way to adjust against this like very precise defensive mashing from Ranchu. And a low parry will do it. If you're down jabbing a lot, you're gonna get low parried by Atif. Unique combo against the bears here. And he's still trying to mix up Ranchu, but Ranchu having such phenomenal active defense. Whiff punish on the heat smash. Ranchu cracked, and he's gonna die for this. Atif has the combo here, right? So it's very exciting and very, very dynamic, even though it is such aggressive play. Games 1, 2, and 3 are a similar story, but what's cool is once you're kind of in tune with this, you just get to watch these players exchange these reads, right? Plus frames, and he just power crushes, right? Trying to deny Atif the ability to drive on Dragunov no matter what. Launch punishable low, doesn't really care, right? Here, what do? The low kills, the mid kills. Atif just finds the low block and he converts it into the best combo damage he can. Right? When you get these players who are kind of playing these statistically high styles, even though they seem kind of crazy, it's read exchanges more than it is like beautiful strategy. It is beautiful strategy, but you have the kind of raw gamer instinct on top of that. And I think that's what makes it so cool, right? Look at this here. Atif hard reads a jab, ducks, and gets a attempted wall splat punish. When it goes wrong, he just continues. Down 2. And Ranchu isn't giving up. He jumps over the low, but he rips the 1-1-1 and Atif blocks. Right? He kept it solid and just blocked at the end, but they are exchanging mashes, armors, power crushes, sidesteps, and when it came down to the end, he blocked. Defense still matters. It's just a bit more nuanced, okay? Now, remember the image of Doujin playing Fang, okay? I want you to remember this. Like, lock in on the visual, what this looks like visually. Okay, I had the wrong tab. Look at this. Lots of backdashing, some jabs, some 1-2s, low pokes that get blocked. Okay, look at this imagery. See how passive? You can tell it's passive. Kkokkoma is not going to play the same way, and it pays off. In fact, the John, Pakistani player, actually ends up playing really slow. So look at this. After this interaction here, look at Kkokkoma. Down 2, and he's threatening forward movement. He's threatening forward pokes. It always looks like he has an attack loaded. You just don't know when he's going to fire it. Right? Constant barrage of offense. That's Fang's strength. Poke him down with a million different moves. If they're wrong, they get back Kenpo'd, they get shouldered, they get whip punch, they get hop kick, they get back 1. Contrast that with the John, who is just backdashing, looking for these big counter hit opportunities, looking for these robbery opportunities. But Kkokkoma driving the tempo is making all the difference. Big sweep on the low. And once Fang does cash out, it's pretty nasty, right? The situation is pretty difficult to defend against. Jab down 2. But look at this. He's always loading the next action. Evasive up forward 2. Putting out pokes. Forward dashing and blocking. And the John is really just sitting there, right? Like, really look at how much the John just sat there. It's been 5 seconds. It's been 5 more seconds. He put out 1 shove. It's been another 5 seconds. Do you see how slow the John is playing? And once Kkokkoma sees all this, he can really start to blow up the John for it. Big shoulder, big shoulder. Because once your health has been chipped away, it kind of becomes obvious when you need to make the play. it kind of becomes obvious, right? Like, oh, you need your comeback now. I can just put out a frame trap. I can just put out a coverage move now. The John trying to get a bit more active now, but it's too little too late. He's getting very visibly discouraged, kind of nervous with dealing with Kkokkoma. Right, there we go. Getting some buttons. The mid gets launched. It looks a little... The mid comes across as a little desperate. Right? Kkokkoma always loading the next attack. The John trying to get off the wall. That's high IQ. That's really good. Sidestep hop knee. No dice. Beating the heat burst with the low and then just piecing him up. The aggression manifesting differently. This time it wasn't straight mix-up. It was a lot of offensive movement. Kkokkoma, a really big fan of that style. And usually... it's pretty hard to pull off that style if the opponent's putting out a bunch of buttons. But here in the case where the John is playing so slow, it just went ugly, right? So let's look at this. Let's look at the next one here. Game 2. What's cool about Kkokkoma here is even though he's... oh, wait, I think I have this preloaded. My fault. Even though Kkokkoma is wrong sometimes, right? There, sidestep hop knee. Look at this again. Kkokkoma got comboed, he woke up, broke a throw, and they got sidestep hop knee. Even though he's wrong, he's not going to resort to freezing now. He's going to continue pushing the offense, but just try to do it better. And this is a universal lesson. Just because your offense isn't working doesn't mean you should stop attacking. Sometimes it means you just need to attack better. And there he does just that. Even with this huge deficit here. How does he win? Low. Heat burst. Low. Mid. Low. Mid. Right? Like it's not like he had to stop attacking. He just had to find better windows to do it. Goes under the jab here. This is 5 rounds straight, by the way. Half HP. Flip over. Pushing the offense. Okay. Breaks the throw. He's staying so solid. John finds... oh, he tries to find a throw but gets ducked. Look at Kkokkoma going under all these highs really quickly. Giant swing hits on counter hit. That's devastating. That's devastating. Look at the damage. The game is now even. Extra damage with the rage there with the wall flat. Okay, heat smash. Kkokkoma blocking. Shoulder. Jab. Back 4. Look at this. He's still driving. He has not been discouraged yet. Sidestepping the throw. Incredible gameplay from Kkokkoma. So, in Group BB, Atif advances. Kkokkoma advances. So the qualifying match now is Atif versus Kkokkoma. And this match is actually really, really cool. It's, again, you saw that both players are very proactive and aggressive, right? What this is kind of shaking up to be is who is just stronger fundamentally. Atif is going to drive with Dragunov's huge hitboxes and huge pokes. Kkokoma's going to poke a lot, but he's going to try to keep it small until he finds his opening, and then he's going to oppress with Fang and Heat. So the floor break is already active. We're skipping ahead a few rounds here. Raw down forward 2 hits. So next floor break will, well, break the floor. It takes 2 hits. Combo from Atif. Right, plus frames. Big wall splat. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. Floor break now. Boom. All right. Kkokkoma, crucial back tempo. And now he's going to run off of this, right? Heat burst. Going for a flip over ender to get a nice wake up situation. Blocking the heat smash is really good here. Now Kkokoma's clearly in the advantage, but the tackle unbreakable, but the follow-up is breakable. Down jab. Forward movement. Sidestep on the while standing 4. This is Tekken. Look at this. Down back 3. Sidestep the retaliation. Big shoulder. Making reads on your opponent's active defense. Going up 2-1. But this is Atif. Atif, debatably the strongest player that Tekken 8 has seen so far. Gets hop kicked. It's looking so good for Kkokkoma. Does he break the floor? No, he wants to try to get the wall, which I agree with. Back Kenpo just a bit late because he put in a little backdash. There's a bit of a hesitation here. Backdash and then back Kenpo a bit too slow. If he did it right away, it would have hit. Finishes the string. Not good. Big punish from Atif. Down 2. Then sidestep the retaliation. Big slide, no launch, and that might be devastating. Is it really going to come down to a punish difference? These rounds could have ended if Kkokkoma found the launch, but he has to hop kick or while... I think while standing 3 might whiff, so it has to be hop kick, but 1-2-1. Okay, Kkokkoma still not getting passive, actually winning back more HP with his own offensive pokes. Back Kenpo attempted, keeping it kind of small. Oh my god. And it looked like Kkokkoma was doing so well, but he eats a disgusting whiff punish from here. He put out a very innocent poke, and Atif had already read that he would put a button. You see how he's already crouch dashing? The CD1 is so easy to throw out if you already know your opponent's going to whiff something there. It was just a matter of confirming. Super, super incredible play here. Now, it was close. It really could have gone either way, but what it came down to was the fundamentals of punishment and whiff punishment. It's not over though. Going into game 2, Kkokkoma refuses to fall into the passive defense style, right? He refuses. He's still going to try to play active. There's a power crush attempt here. It just happens to go wrong, and then he gets heat smashed. The idea here is that Atif is so good at finding sidestep button, right? Sidestep button. And so Kkokkoma has to answer at some point. 1-2 here, back 4 here. Full crouch low, heat smash. 2-1. And Kkokoma's losing a ton of HP here. He's just occasionally more wrong. Atif collecting more data on how he likes to retaliate. And unfortunately, Kkokoma's more often incorrect, but here he finds a big opening. It's important to keep pushing no matter what. The moment you decide to get passive, you saw what happened to Doujin. You saw what happened to the John. It's crucial to keep it pushing. Big duck here. Look at that. Look at all the opportunities he found regardless, right? Staying in the game is so crucial. But once again, unfortunately, it does come down to the fundamentals, right? Atif just occasionally makes the better reads. Running 2, chasing down the Kenpo, spamming the plus frames, keeping him at the wall. Oh, he doesn't get the low out in time to beat the heat burst. That's so unfortunate. But Kkokkoma, again, still pushing. But Atif finds the low parry. Heat smash. Luckily, that gets blocked. Low is blocked. This is really, really good. But the shoulder whiffs, and that's just so unfortunate. So Kkokkoma went down fighting, and that's what you really do have to do. You have to go down fighting. But sometimes you just lose. And that's what makes Atif so strong. Is his ability to keep adjusting is so good. But Kkokkoma, I don't think, played that wrong. He just got outplayed. And that's an important lesson. Another important lesson here is, again, reiterating that aggression. The John versus Ranchu. So, first of all, just so we're reoriented on where we are, Atif has qualified by beating Kkokkoma. We're now here on elimination match, Ranchu versus the John. Down here, the bottom left, okay? What we have, Ranchu, we know he plays the Tekken 8 style. We saw the John play passive. The John decides it's time to wake up. Immediately running in and going for a chain throw. Right? Immediately going for an unsafe string mix-up. Going for the low. Forward, neutral 2. Whiff punish. Because of the activity, Ranchu feels it's time to respond. He finds a whiff punish. Big block on the low. Right? Like, the fact that he's getting aggressive is finding him these opportunities. You can't sit and wait for them. He's creating them because he's giving Ranchu ideas of when to respond and then countering those ideas. The armor flex from King gets stronger the more that you attack. Right? If you're doing nothing, the armor means nothing. But if you're attacking and creating little windows for your opponent to respond, then the armor flex comes out. That's where King becomes really strong. So here, it feels like he's just naturally outplaying Ranchu's timing. He has better default ideas. So it's on Ranchu, A, to kind of experience this, like, these failures in neutral. When you're getting outplayed because of the defaults that you start with at the start of the game, you can't overthink it, right? Sometimes what you do, like if you play rock, paper, scissors with somebody and you decide to open rock and they open paper, you just lose. But the adjustments are where it matters here. So even though Ranchu is getting kind of smacked around a bit, like by the John's aggression, his like sidestep hop knees, the throws, the lows, the delay timings, Ranchu is not really going to be phased by something like this, right? Ranchu is not going to be like, oh my goodness, what do I do? I'm stuck. He's ready to adapt. He switches to Lydia, and he actually wins game 2. So what I've done is I fast forwarded here to game 3 because the style of gameplay kind of stays the same. It's very back and forth, but ultimately, Ranchu is winning by just putting out a lot of jabs to stop a lot of King's slower offense and still be safe against the counter hit tools. And when he blocks these lows with Lydia, he gets huge punishment, right? It's actually super important. Big sidestep here, and Ranchu has really nice punishment there. A forward 2-4 might have wall splatted, but this is decent too. And he can chase down the Jaguar step with Political Storm. Lydia, I wouldn't call her a hard King counter, but Ranchu clearly thought about this and is using her tools really well. And this is final round, right? Final round on the loser side. The loser is out. The John finally low parrying that string. Look at the damage from the low parry. That's a lot. King gets an ultimate tackle. And again, the John committing to his aggressive options. He doesn't lose a lot. And he wins so much damage here. Now, Ranchu is in a horrible situation, but finds a counter hit heat dash. He's going to turn this into a combo. And it's a good one. Political Storm. Last couple interactions here. Spring kick is good. Heat burst. And he sends it on a Rage Art. And the John blocks. This happened against Atif. He sent it on a 1-1-1. Atif blocked. The John also blocked here. But this could have gone completely either way. Easily either way. King could have gone for a throw, forward neutral 2. I respect this Rage Art a lot. I respect it a lot. And what this match really came down to, I think, you didn't see it in these sets here, but I think Ranchu lost a lot of opportunities playing Lydia's coverage option. And it's hard because her stances aren't like... They have a lot of counters. But he played this option so many times. He would go into horse stance and do this homing move. The reason you do this homing move is because down jab beats all of her options, right? And Ranchu was probably flow stating on the idea that King would stand up and eat this low. Like if King stands up and eats this low here, then this is pretty good to cover a lot of options. But he's still down. And now he has sacrificed his turn and eats the spring kick. And even though it was a spring kick here in the previous interactions in this game, that move gives up your turn. And it allows the John to play more. And I think ultimately that is probably what cost him more of these opportunities, more than just zooming in on this last Rage Art. Because there are other opportunities to look at aside from just the game-losing mistake. But what's catastrophic about that is now Ranchu is out. And the John advances to fight Kkokkoma. Really shocking upset maybe for many people with Ranchu being so dominant in these international tournaments. His match versus Kkokkoma is kind of more of the same story. Like, yes, he's playing Fang, he's down a game. And Kkokkoma is still going to play active. In fact, he's doing a really good job of kind of going poke for poke with King when King has all these really scary counter hit launchers and the shove and the down forward 2. But this poke is super crucial. Sorry, this crouch throw is really crucial here. Right? Super important crouch throw. Because it leads to this Oki. It leads to this counter hit shove. Right? Again, because he's attacking, these counter hit options and these armor options become more scary. It's really hard to like figure out somebody's raw timing if you're doing nothing, but if you're putting out hitboxes, there's only so many times they can come in to hit you. So King's strength is definitely dependent on being a bit more of an active player. Now, even though he's getting a little passive here, actually, look at that. He's getting a bit passive. He's getting beat up. The John needs to represent his threats.
It's pretty cool, though.
Backwards Jaguar step is so good in this game.
Time to play the game. Yeah, let me pull out my sledgehammer real quick.
And Kkokkoma not winning these throw mix-ups. Shining Wizard hitting over and over again. The reason he's not breaking that is because there is a technique where King can threaten the giant swing out of a run, right? So Kkokkoma truly has to guess here. When you're fighting the best King players in the world, you truly have to guess that throw. It's not as obvious as the lower level King players who will telegraph the giant swing. Raw hop knee. Raw hop knee, yeah. The lower level King players will telegraph the run or the little half circle motion. Good King players will hide it. And the John is very capable of doing that. Ultimate tackle. He's just getting grappled. He's getting grappled because King's counter hit threat forces you to slow down, which makes these throws hit. That low parry is so crucial. Does he turn it into a heat dash combo? He does. Misses the running exploder, but the final Shining Wizard hits. Kkokkoma unable to find the throw break, and the John, once he got active, suddenly jumps into qualification. Right? He was looking so defeated. But as soon as he got active, as soon as he got Tekken 8 with it, he qualifies, right? So really, really, really sick stuff, right? He was struggling early, beats Ranchu, struggling. Well, once he found his momentum, it wasn't really a struggle. He beat Kkokkoma 2-0. So Group BB's qualifiers, Atif and Doujin, Pakistan looking good. Group A's qualifiers, we had MEO-IL and AO, right? Originally, I wanted to cover Arslan Ash's pool, Group CC, in the same video, but I can see that we're pushing an hour. So I'm going to save it for the next one, and I think it's kind of better, because that means we'll have Arslan Ash and Ni in the same video, and we could directly compare their playstyles. So please let me know in the comments if this format is working for you. It's new for me to cover this many matches. So I'm curious if you have any feedback on how we can streamline it. I don't want to skip that many games, but it's kind of the nature of, I think, any kind of large event with this much Tekken. Let me know, and subscribe if you're enjoying this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.